show of what an assignment looks like when it's submitted and integrated with Turnitin.com. So you can see that this is the lovely Monet Appel's research journal, and you can see that this is attempt 1, that she has submitted it for grading, that I have not graded it, when it was due, when she submitted it. Nice. Look at that. How nice is that? Don't you love it when you see that? And that she can still edit it, yada yada. And finally, this is the Turnitin right here. So Turnitin does integrate directly with, and so you don't have to sign into it, neither do students. It's a one-time thing. And you can go to GradeMark if you want, but I don't find it really necessary within Moodle because, here we go. I can put comments to Monet here if I wanted to, and Monet could put comments back. You can make it bigger if you want. So that's communication with the students right away. So I'm just going to go ahead and first download her journal. It could be an online text. And so there is her outline for it, which I have already read and assessed. There is her praises. And because I've read her outline, I already know. Now I will look at this again, but I know this student. So for demonstration purposes, I'm going to, does she have a response? Yes, so she has a response as well. So, you know, of course I could highlight things and make comments and all that sort of thing if I wanted to, so that I could save it. And then, so now I'm going to mark the rubric. Again, I have read her notes. All of it was meets or exemplary. So this is actually scoring as I go. And it was a perfect paper. I'm assuming that what we just looked at in Word is as perfect as it looked. So that has just graded the rubric. This rubric is a 100-point rubric, and it is, if you look at it closely. You tell me, don't you think that a bibliographic citation is not worth more than 3 points, whereas meanwhile Cornell notes in a research outline is closer to something like 14 points? So I went and carefully judged. Clearly the chapter arguments, explaining the author's purpose, claims, and evidence, and the reasoning and such, is the bulk of this 100-point paper, so that gets the greatest weight. The citations, MLA and such, 5 points. I want them to be ready for college. And then the response, length, just the length, and then 17 points for evaluating it, right? So they've got to be concise. That's why that's even there in the rubric. So that will show up in the grade book. Whoops, you got to make sure that all of them are actually clicked. You should see green on every row. That will show up in every row, and that will show up in the grade book as 100 points. If she got 0 points for this, it would show up minus 17 as 83 points. But she got 100 points. And it would convert to our 9-point scale. So if it's an 83 in the grade book on Moodle, it would show up as a B, right? You can also import these into PowerSchool with less trouble than you would hand entering them. These are standards, and because she did exceed exemplary. Now, feedback comments. I'm simply going to put excellent. Look forward to more. And feedback files. This is my feedback to her in files, so I would simply, find her file and drop it in there. But I'm going to delete it because I don't want it to be there. So that's how she would get files back from you. So we've got our standards that quickly, we've got a letter grade on the 9-point scale, and we simply, this is beautiful. If I want the student to see that I have marked them, by default it says yes. Sometimes I don't want them to see it, so I can turn it to no. And then I simply click Save and Show Next, and I am done. That student has just gotten a message on Moodle saying your homework has been assessed. Here is a link to see your teachers, rubric, and so forth. And it just moves you right to the next student. All right, that's it. Very cool.